the Veil Nebula. Pretty neat, right? I mean, it's just, it really is fascinating, the things that we're finding in space, and that we're able to see with such things as the Hubble Space Telescope, because this one is from Hubble. It's not from one of the others. Anyway, hi. So yeah, this video title, Who is Captain Kirk? I don't know why I thought of this a few weeks ago, because it's been months, might even be longer, I'm not sure, since I last watched through my set of the Star Trek movies, which are the original cast 6, the 4 TNG, and then Star Trek 2009. I don't have any of the others. Don't care for them. In fact, it's even one of those, I remember when first seeing Star Trek 2009, I enjoyed it. It was fun, it was entertaining. And then I sort of realized, it's not Star Trek. Excuse me. There's a lot of stuff just wrong there. The way I have it in my notes, I will try to follow, is that it violates certain well-established rules, long-established rules in Star Trek, well, or more specifically Star Trek science fiction. It violates that and pushes some stuff more into fantasy. But it's also, and what I'm going to be focusing on for this video, is how they also get some of the characters wrong. Specifically, Kirk will be the focus on this, as the title suggests. And by the way, I'll just add that there's a part of me that I like the idea of maybe going through my collection of science fiction movies and maybe some television to do some critical analysis of the science fiction being shown there. Just like doing things like trying to put my explanation on there, if anyone would ever want that. But I mean, it is potentially interesting. So I'm open to the idea. I just don't know if I will do it. Anyway, so yeah, I think that it's I'm going to demonstrate that they got Kirk wrong, which isn't in some ways always going to be easy here, but I mean, you'll see. I think I can make a good case here, and it's very, very likely that somebody else has made this case. I just don't know, and it's whatever. Great minds think alike. Let's go with that one. Or Great Mind and me can think alike. Anyway, here's a clip from Star Trek 2009, which it is Kirk within the Kobayashi-Maru simulation, which is basically trying to depict, I think very wrong, I think it's very incorrect how they're depicting, Kirk going through the Kobayashi-Maru and finally beating the no-win scenario, which is mentioned in Wrath of Khan. Now, I've got clips from that. We'll be showing you that. I will be showing you that as well. But first, let's see this clip, because there are things here that it's not Kirk.
Or should we, I don't know, fire back?
No.
Of course not.
Okay. Ooh, I paused it perfectly because the clip ends just now. So you see how that screen turned off? That's because what they depict in Star Trek 2009 is Kirk did something that causes the simulation to almost reset. So the Enterprise systems go down, they come back up, but the simulated Klingon battle cruisers, they are also shut down such that they don't get the shields back. So he not only is mocking and dismissing everything by pulling out that apple and eating it very loudly, but he also mocks them by saying, basically, what's their status? Their shields are down. All right, open fire. 1 photon apiece should do it, or 1 torpedo apiece should do. So he's completely mocking and dismissing them. He even does finger guns at the screen for them going off. I mean, it is total mockery, totally dismissive of the situation. And in no way do I think that's right for Kirk. Right? A way to put it is this. That was cheating. Beyond any doubt, that was cheating. Okay? Which is very important because of the clips I'm going to show you from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, in the Genesis Cave, which I think is the scene that they're trying to make you think of the most. Because in that scene, in Star Trek II, he is also eating fruit. It might also be an apple, that I don't quite remember, but for the clips I have here, you'll just see in some of the shots he's chewing something. That's what he's chewing. He's biting out of an apple.
You are looking at the only Starfleet cadet who ever beat the no-win scenario.
How? I reprogrammed the simulation so it was possible to rescue the ship.
I reprogrammed the simulation so it's possible to rescue the ship. This is important. He says possible. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, he might just be trying to cover himself there a little bit. He still cheated. It's like, well, that's what this next clip, which is very shortly after the first one that I just showed you. But this clip, I think, helps add clarification that is important for this and my argument.
He cheated.
I changed the conditions of the test. Got a commendation for original thinking. I don't like to lose.
He cheated. I changed the conditions of the test. This is very, very important to him. And I think you can see both in other places in this film. I've got 2 other clips from an earlier scene, but also in the other Star Trek film, in original cast Star Trek films and in the original series. Kirk doesn't cheat. He doesn't have an issue with a challenge. As I said, he doesn't like to lose. So the idea of a no-win scenario, he hates. He doesn't, and I don't remember where it is, but it even says he doesn't believe in the no-win scenario. So he kind of always takes on, yeah, give me the challenge. He'll take the challenge. I was like, the Kobayashi Maru, being a no-win scenario, that was his problem. He changed the test so it was possible to rescue the ship. Right? That's what he did. He made it possible to win. He didn't ensure he won, which is exactly what they show in Star Trek 2009. So yeah, I think that they were trying to link that scene that I just showed you clips of to with the new scene in 2009. I think they're trying to link that, and that's why they had the food. Because there could be other ways of showing the dismissiveness, but it's also he shouldn't be shown as dismissive, and it's also this isn't a good scene. This isn't a Kobayashi Maru scene in The Wrath of Khan. That's not at all showing. I mean, he's talking about it, but that's not showing Kirk in a no-win scenario. This is a clip of Kirk in a no-win scenario. And I've got 2 because, well, you'll see.
Let's have it. Punch up the data charts of Reliance Command Console.
Reliance Command.
Hurry.
45 seconds.
The prefix code, it's all we've got.
Okay. So this is a no-win scenario. So if you haven't seen Wrath of Khan, what's wrong with you? It's a very good movie. I think Star Trek 6 is the better of the 2. But Wrath of Khan is a superior film. I mean, it is. And I want to watch it again. Anyway, so what has just happened is Khan, who is an established, very lethal threat from the original series, episode The Space Seed, in case you're wondering, has captured another Starfleet ship and successfully attacked the Enterprise, doing critical damage, like near lethal damage to the ship. It is so weakened and so it's going to have a hard time firing back at all. Meanwhile, his ship, the Reliant, has no damage whatsoever. Hasn't even fired a torpedo, only used phasers. So it's like all that's spent has been energy. This is a no-win scenario for like everyone else. Not Kirk. Not Kirk, though. Certainly Saavik. Saavik has no idea what's going on. Maybe she'd try to fight, but she would fail because she doesn't have the experience Kirk does, or maybe it's not even just the experience, but the gift. The gift for finding a way through a no-win scenario, rejecting that it's a no-win scenario. But it absolutely is. And what does he do? He comes up with a solution that in this other clip, where he finally explains to Saavik what is going on. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. Well, here, I'll just play it and then I'll have the wording.
Reliance prefix number is 16309.
I don't understand.
You have to learn why things work on a starship
Each ship has its own combination code.
To prevent an enemy from doing what we're attempting.
Prevent an enemy from doing what we're attempting. Meaning, this is something that arguably Saavik should know about. I was like, this is significant. This should be like 101 level, how spaceships, how starships work. Should be that basic. But it's and that's me just headcanoning it there. I mean, it doesn't make sense that she wouldn't be aware. But it is so fundamental that it's probably something that no one ever thinks to use it, because if you're fighting a Klingon ship, Klingons would never know what your prefix code is, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, yes, you do need it, because this is essentially a password to keep somebody from issuing commands to your computer, to your starship, to have it do things. And it's also, you never really expect to be fighting against another Starfleet ship. But Kirk recognizes this, and is going to take advantage of that information. So he pulls up in their computers what the prefix code is, because, hey, we're all friends, we're all nice happy family. I think that might even be Khan's line for why the Enterprise doesn't react as they actually should. It's such a good scene, such a good movie. Anyway, sorry, I'm just like the movies replaying my mind. That's distracting me a little bit. It's a good movie, like I said. But obviously you would have those codes for each other. Plus, in an emergency situation, maybe it would be necessary to have that. But what does he do? He gets that because it will give him that advantage. It changes the conditions of the situation so that now he can control the other ship. It doesn't matter that his ship is damaged. He controls the other ship. He has that advantage. But what does he do? What does he do? And this, I think, is also critical because he could cheat here. I don't know of any reason why, with that prefix code, he couldn't trigger self-destruct. He couldn't trigger something that would result in self-destruct, but not the same way, such as some kind of system overload, or cause the containment of the antimatter to fail. Even something like jettisoning weapons, opening up, something like disabling environmental systems so that it incapacitates Khan and his men completely or destroys them. Arguably, he could just blow up the ship if he has the means to, and he would be fully justified. Khan is such a high-level threat. He has a starship. You cannot let him win. You cannot let him succeed. So yeah, if Kirk just blew the thing up, he would face almost no repercussions from that. Even if it turns out there was Starfleet members on board, I think everyone would be like, yeah, no, they need to be that collateral damage is acceptable. But he didn't do that. Instead, he just drops their shields so that he can get his own volley of attacks in, and potentially also, because Reliant doesn't attack back. I don't remember if there was if there's a line there explaining that they are unable to attack, or I think it's more so that how do we turn the shields back on? How do we do this? Why is this happening? That the confusion might just be taking them over. So then Reliant is so damaged they have to fly off, go away, and then that allows Enterprise to also limp away. And it really is limping away. But it's like, that's what Kirk does. He changes it so he can win, but he's isn't removing the challenge. He isn't cheating. That I would say is important here, is that's cheating. To just remove the challenge completely is cheating, and that's exactly what happened in 2009, in the Star Trek 2009 movie. He just removed the challenge completely. It was gone. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that that's what Kirk would do, because he would enjoy the challenge. He would take on the challenge. And that's... Oh, that's right. That's what makes him a good captain. I lost it, and then it came back. That's what makes him such a good captain, such an effective captain, such that, I don't quite remember what the line was, but this is your first best something. I can't remember what that next word is. That was said to him. And I believe that was in Star Trek 2. That that's truly where his skill is. He's an admiral at this point, but it's like you shouldn't be. You should get a starship command back, because that's where you're really good. Because, yes, he's able to do things like this. But now here's a short clip from Star Trek 3 that I think also helps capture the difference between the true Captain Kirk, as in the original series and the 6 movies, versus the 2009 Captain Kirk.
My God, Bones. What have I done?
What you had to do. What you always do. Turn death into a fighting chance to live.
Did the 2009 Kirk do that? Not that I recall. He's basically just a generic action hero. And he didn't turn the no-win scenario into a fighting chance. No, he dismissed it. He threw it out. He made it pointless. Entirely pointless. So, yeah, I truly do consider it just... That's not Kirk. That isn't Kirk. And as I said near the start of this, at least, I don't doubt that there's other people that point this out as well, but it occurred to me, and it's like, I'll make a video. I do have one last clip, because there is also just large stepping back a little bit more on Star Trek 2009 and realize this is actually really stupid. Like, this isn't how this... Even how they show the Kobayashi Maru in Star Trek 2 technically doesn't make sense by the argument I'm about to give you. But what they depict in 2009 is absolutely wrong. There's no way you would do this if you were truly thinking through what's going on.
This session has been called to resolve a troubling matter. James T. Kirk, step forward.
Okay. So this is shortly after the first 2009 scene. It's the scene immediately following him in the simulation and winning. Him cheating. Where he's now being called forward to be reprimanded. Which first involves some argument, some debate. Basically, he's going to be on trial, but you'd never do this. Not in that setting, which is public. Because supposedly, you're not supposed to know the Kobayashi Maru is a known scenario. Like, Saavik didn't know, and that's so many years later in Wrath of Khan. But it's also, everyone there, it's like, you're not supposed to know. And they give Kirk the line of, well, it's a cheat, too. You know, the test itself is a cheat. When he's being accused of cheating, it's like, because it's a known scenario, it's like, and they kind of treat it as though, well, yes, we know it is. We want it to be that. And it's like, okay, everyone who is also there, all these other cadets, they now know this is a known scenario. There's no value to the testing. Seriously, there would be no value. You now know it's a known scenario, so why would you bother trying? Why are you going to try anymore? The whole idea to a known scenario kind of test is to gauge how somebody responds. If they go into it knowing it's a known scenario, they're going to react differently than if they think there is some way. They're not necessarily going to be clinging and grasping to try to succeed. As much if they know it won't work. And this is something, as I was saying, yeah, technically Wrath of Khan has that wrong too, because what would make more sense is so that there be multiple simulations, and it just changes which one will be the known scenario. And it could be like per cadet. So Cadet Kirk there, it might be Kobayashi Maru. Cadet Saavik in Wrath of Khan might be some other, like the Nancy Grace, to use one of my ship names. Might be, the Nancy Grace simulation that for her was a known scenario. So now when they talk, it's like, man, Kirk being like, man, I just can't beat this thing, and I've scheduled, I'm doing it again. I got to do this, and she can be like, really? Kobayashi Maru was easy for me. This is what I did. I'm having this trouble with the Nancy Grace one. Really, Nancy Grace? That was easy. I just did this. That's what you'd want to have happening there, because that way they don't recognize. You are hiding the fact it's a known scenario, so they'll keep going into it, assuming they go in multiple times, in order to try different ways to win, which actually does make it a good question of why is it special that Kirk is the only one who would try to do it multiple times? I mean, it seems very reasonable there would have been multiple, but whatever. Let's not dig too deeply into that. Maybe it is something like, no, you're only supposed to be able to do it once. That just, as a rule, that is it, but if you can request to do it multiple times, I guess it's... Or maybe it is. There's just so many different simulations that the idea of repeating one, it's like, no, you move on to the next one. But it still is kind of the point that Kobayashi Maru, being the known scenario, makes little sense. It should be cycling through. But you would also, what they show in 2009, you would never let the cadets know. The fact that he did that, you would almost immediately be pulling him away into an office, into like a private office, summoning whoever you need, and interrogating him, essentially. You would be locking the situation down as much as possible, including asking him, who did you tell? Okay, because you cannot let that get out. It would completely undermine, you wouldn't be able to use the Kobayashi Maru as a known scenario after that. So yeah, that response makes no sense. So as I said at the start, pretty sure of this, I've tried to record this a few times. Story analysis. Doing critical story analysis, Star Trek 2009 really does have issues, really does have holes in there. That even with Wrath of Khan, it's like, yes, technically it should be multiple. What are the chances that it would be multiple tests, one being known scenario? Why is it that Kirk and Saavik apparently get the same one as known scenario? Well, that could just randomly happen. But it still is the whole It's like that at least, it kind of makes some sense. This, where they're a bit more focused on the test, doesn't make any sense. All right, so that'll be it. And as I said, I may at some point, like, pull these back, go through other Star Trek movies, go through other science fiction movies, analyzing the science fiction. It could be fun. Don't know. We'll see. But I shall see you next time.